Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Happy Taco Tuesday. We are going live with Yvonne Haase this morning. I am very excited. So let's see. Let's give her a moment to. Hi, Judith. Good morning. Can you hear me? Hi. Good morning, everyone. Hope everybody's having a great day. We're very excited this morning. We are going to be talking to Yvonne about a pandemic of anxiety that we're living through right now. So join us, grab your cup of coffee or tea, and let's just have a good time here. Hi everyone, good morning. We're just waiting for Yvonne to jump on. She should be here in a few minutes. Let's see if I can invite her. Hi. Yvonne, good morning. No. Hey Mom, good morning. Karina. Hi there. All right, let's see. So how's everyone doing today? Who's having tacos on a Tuesday? Because I know that, with today's schedule, yes, I have my clothes. Always. Oi, Rosa, beijos, tudo bom? Yes, this morning I'm very excited. I was choosing what to wear, so I did pick out something from our new collection, and I am in love with it. Hey, Yvonne, you should see a little button that says request to join. There you are. Are you? Okay. Let's.
Hey,
Hey, good morning.
good morning. This is
How
my
are
first
you today?
venture into Instagram Live, and I was like, yeah, what button? I don't see a button. Oh, wait, that button. Okay, got it.
So I actually did on my personal page about 15 minutes ago. I called my mom, was like, Mom, join me live just to make sure I know how to make this work. And I'm glad I did because my Wi-Fi wasn't working. So it kept telling me that I didn't have connection. So see, now I'm
Yeah,
prepared.
there you go. There you
Yeah.
go. Good for you. You're far more prepared than I was, although now I have coffee, so I'm feeling like I'm gonna pull it together pretty soon.
I don't have coffee, but I do have tecito. So
What is
I
that?
am enjoying a cup of tea, the one that Karina's always talking about. So it's gonna give me extra energy. If I could be as hyper as she is, we'll be good to go.
Oh my God, if I could be as hyper as Karina, I can't even imagine what I could get done in a day.
I know,
Just
right?
insane.
So thank you for joining us. We are very happy to have you here today for our first
Oh,
live.
Karina's laughing at us.
Yeah, I know she is.
Of course she is. She's like, yeah, they're talking about me and it's all good stuff.
Yes.
Mm.
So, Yvonne, before we get started, um, tell us a little bit about yourself. Oh, I think I can. They told me, wait,
Ooh,
they told me
we're
I
experimenting.
could, yes, coffee hour with Yvonne Haas. And I think I can pin it. I don't know how to do that.
Oh, look. Yeah, something's just coming up.
Right? It's coming up and hopefully it'll stay there.
Oh, perfect.
Okay. All right. So, good morning. Let's try this again. Tell
Good
us a
morning,
little,
everybody.
yes, good morning. Tell me a little bit about yourself so that those that are joining us can kind of catch up a little bit.
All right, awesome sauce. My name's Yvonne Haas. I'm a licensed mental health counselor. I have been practicing for longer than I care to admit. It's been quite a while.
So
But
it's yesterday.
yeah, it was about yesterday. Yeah, exactly. That's about right. It was yesterday. So I have been doing it for many years, love what I do. I'm also the co-founder of Suits, Stilettos, and Lipstick Foundation, which is an organization that empowers women and children. So I get to do a lot in the community. I'm also
Amazing.
a mom. I have two kids. I live everyday life just like everybody else.
Yes.
I like to put my feet in the sand and my hands in the dirt.
Awesome. And I'm sure you're having a quite a good time now teaching them at home, right?
Oh, yeah, no. No, I have learned so much about myself in this quarantine, and I'm telling you guys, the one thing I am not is a homeschool teacher. Like, thank God that that boy is 15 and he doesn't need my help because he's taking calculus. I
Wow.
can't even spell calculus anymore. Like, I'm done. But now my daughter
Yeah.
is in fifth grade and she comes to me and needs help with fifth grade. And I feel like a contestant on the show, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? And the answer is no.
No.
No, I'm not. I can't do it. And I'm just like,
Wow.
in fact, I tell her, I'm like, call our friend Mark who lives in Chicago who used to teach math. He can explain it to you.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. I think a lot of parents, at least from what I'm hearing lately, is that they are definitely appreciating teachers a lot more now than they ever have.
Oh yeah, no, without, and I'm married to a teacher, and let me tell you, he's a bad homeschool teacher too. They are so much harder on their own
I
kids.
think they're the worst.
Oh, it's awful. Like my next door
Yeah.
neighbor is a teacher, and she's like, "Listen, I'll trade. You take mine, and I'll take yours because we'll be nicer to somebody else's kid."
And
But
they might actually listen more too. So,
oh no, 1,000%, right? Of course
yeah.
they will. But my kid the
So,
other day was crying. She's like, "I miss my teacher." I was like crying with her. I'm like, "I miss your teacher too."
yeah, I had a good my best friend yesterday. She said yeah, she was like, I can't do this until June. This is not gonna work. And I'm like, I don't think you have a choice. So, but yeah,
Yeah, no, they officially, I don't know about where you are, but where I am, they officially said no more physical
no
school
more.
for the year.
Yeah.
Of course, my
I
kids
think the state
interpreted
of
that.
Florida, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't
Oh.
watch the news. That's one of my tips we'll talk about later, but ugh. But yeah, so we're in it to win it now, I'm telling you. But
And
again,
hopefully we'll come out bigger and
parents who are
better.
outside the home trying to homeschool their kids through this, my hat's off to you because you are the superheroes.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely appreciate them a lot more now.
Oh yeah.
So, well, today we wanted to bring you on to talk about the pandemic of anxiety that most of us are living in nowadays. Right? So we can share a little bit, what is anxiety, and hopefully get a few tools that we can just have a better day and not stress out and get through this time bigger and better.
Yeah, I think the one thing, just from talking to either patients or just people, I mean, my neighbors, is that don't expect so much from yourself during this time. I mean,
Yeah.
I love the meme going around that says, I don't know what famous person, just insert famous name here, says, take this time, oh, Gwyneth Paltrow, take this time to
Okay.
learn another language. Lady, I don't know what you're doing during your day, but I'm taking this time to, make sure I brush my teeth in the morning. Like we
Yeah.
we have this crazy expectation, and I think that we're watching all these people saying, "Oh, take this time to do this, take this time to do that." And if you're not feeling that right now, and you're putting that kind of pressure on yourself, you're causing yourself so much more anxiety than if you just said, "You know what? Today's not my day. I'm just
I'm
not
just
feeling
gonna get out of bed.
I'm going to get out of bed. And when I get out of
Yes.
bed, I'm going to do a happy dance that I got. Like, today's my day to
Well,
get.
I saw something on Facebook. Somebody posted, since quarantine started, I've been running 5 miles a day, haven't had any sugar, cleaned out my house, and it goes on like 8 or 9 things that lost I don't know how many pounds, and then at the end they, oh, no alcohol, no sugar, no carbs, and then they goes, I don't know who this is, but good for them. Like, because
Exactly.
I do
Exactly.
feel like we're all putting this pressure on ourselves where you have to be extra productive because now you're at home, without realizing that there's so much going on in our brain subconsciously that, yeah, some days you just getting out of bed is good enough, and we need to know that.
Yeah, I see all these parents who have these I mean, and kudos to you guys. Like, if you're a Pinterest mom, God love you. I'm envious because I'm more of an Amazon Prime kind of mom. It's got to arrive here in 2 days, and I don't care what the package looks like. But you see these parents who have these color coordinated boards with all the post-it notes and their child's schedule all laid out and all of this stuff, and we're comparing ourselves to that person. That person, if that works for them, that's wonderful. I can assure you right now that people who do that, that's one of their forms of soothing their own anxiety. That might
Right.
not be your form, right? So if you're looking at that, I mean, it's like comparing your bloopers reel to somebody's, totally touched up photograph. Like, it's just not going to work out well for you. So the comparison is huge. Like, I mean, we talk about this all the time. I know you and I, Tati, have talked about it forever, like women comparing themselves to other women and the damage that that does. And now you've taken this opportunity to really lay it on thick on yourself. Come on, ladies.
Yeah. We need to be a little bit nicer, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I chose this
To
nice
ourselves.
because you can't see the floor. If you looked at the floor, you'd be like, what is this lady doing?
Well, I chose this. I made sure that the rack looked really pretty for our background.
Exactly. Yeah, I was like, wow, that's
That way.
nice and pretty back there, Tati.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
fact,
Just
I
made
think you
sure
saw
that
something like right over your shoulder.
you can't see anything else, just this beautiful rack, and it works.
Exactly.
It
Exactly.
works today.
It works today, my friend.
Yes. All right, so why don't we do something? Why don't you tell us what is anxiety?
Hmm. Okay, so anxiety is an overwhelming sensation of fear or nervousness. It can have like a very physical effect. Like sometimes people don't feel it physically. They'll feel it, just mentally, where their thoughts are racing, their brain doesn't turn off at night, they're not sleeping well. They're, doing that 3 a.m. wake up call where you're like, I'm the worst parent on the planet, my business is failing. You never think anything nice about yourself at 3 a.m. At least I don't know
Why
anybody.
would you do that?
Why would you do that? Because then you'd roll over and go back to sleep. You'd be like, I am a rock star and good night, everybody. But no, that's not what we do. Right. So sometimes it's that brain thing. And you can have that, during the day too, where you're just overwhelmingly concerned about everything. Right. But you can also have physical sensations. And this is what's catching a lot of people right now because, we have all of the physical symptoms of COVID, which, is a tight chest, a cough, all these things that people actually can experience that with anxiety too. And think about it, you start to mimic some of the symptoms of this virus, of course your brain is going to, start to
Right.
panic. But really anxiety can have that physical sensation, excuse me, just like, what they're telling you for the pandemic. But I always tell people too, like anxiety is pent up energy,
Okay.
right? Which is a slightly more palatable way of looking at it. Because if we just constantly think of it as something negative, then what do we as people do? We beat ourselves up for being negative, right? So, but if we think of something as pent up energy, like I was talking to a neighbor and she was suffering 3 to 4 panic attacks like a day through this. And I'm like, are you getting outside? No, 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 not at all. I'm like, are you
Or
afraid to go for a walk? What? I'm afraid other people will talk to me and get too close. Well, then get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, honey. Ain't nobody up. Like,
or at 3 in the morning when half of us are getting up lately, right?
right, exactly. Like, go for that. Go for the walk. Like, we've got to release some of that energy. So now she's, and it's, but find the time that you're comfortable doing it. right? So her chest was too tight for her to do some kind of workout because then she felt like, I really can't breathe. So she started going for a walk twice a day, and she's down to maybe one panic attack a week. And she
Wow,
finds
that's
that it's
amazing.
because she didn't get any kind of movement that day. We're not meant to be, I mean, we all have this, I'm sure you thought about it. I know I did. Oh my God, it'd be so nice to work from home. No, this sucks. I hate it. I hate it. I was not meant to sit in these four walls and not have my friend Dr. King to talk to during the day or
I
the in and
know.
out. I mean, I miss the mailman. I miss Mr. Dennis walking in and saying, "Hey, good morning, beautiful. Here's your mail." Well, thank you. You know, like
Well, and so the interesting part about it is I've been working from home. I've built my home office as a choice,
yeah,
right? But now that it's not my choice, I don't like it.
no,
I can't wait to work from home on my own terms,
right,
right?
exactly.
And it's very different because, see, before, you have this schedule, whether you're working from home or you're going to the office, where you wake up, you probably go to the gym or you do some exercise, you meditate, and you have these things that you do during the day. Well, now, if I need to run and drop something off or pick something up, it's, well, can I go? What time am I going to go? How many people am I going to see? Who is going to talk to me, like your neighbor said? There's
Yep.
all these things, and where's my glove? Where's the mask? Wash the shoes. By the time I haven't even left the house and I can't breathe. So,
Mhm.
and I'm sure that, most of us are feeling something similar or the same because we
Yeah.
don't know.
Nobody's alone. So when you're calling me and you're saying, Yvonne, is this normal? Yes, it is. Right? So this is, at least for our era, we've never lived through a plague. I mean,
No.
bird flu, swine flu didn't even really make its appearance here in the US. I mean, thankfully, right? I mean, it
Right.
did impact other countries, of course, but we are going through something we've never gone through before. So why would you question whether your reaction is normal?
Because
What?
what is normal?
Right.
I feel like now so many of us don't know what is normal, what is not, what is acceptable. How is it okay to feel this way? Is it okay to one day just make it out of bed and brush your teeth, but the next morning you wake up and you feel like you can take over the world? Like there's this roller coaster of emotions happening.
Yeah.
And where do we draw that line within ourselves to know, yes, this is okay, or at this point, I need to maybe talk to someone?
Yeah. If you're not functioning at all, right? So if you're having more days where you cannot get out of bed or you can barely get out of bed, or if you're feeling really alone, if you're feeling very dark, and not seeing any kind of light, at the end, if you're not reaching out to your friends, if you're not, feeling supported by someone, you need to call, right? You need to call a
Right.
professional and get some help. I will tell you, I've had patients who have never needed to take medication, and I've told them, listen, right now, it's okay. Do what you need to do, right? Because a lot of them, they are working from home, but they're not functioning. They're barely getting out of bed, and they have kids too that they're trying to take care of, and it's a lot.
Right.
So for
It can be
some,
very overwhelming.
yeah, no, it's very overwhelming. There is no real normal through all of this. Normal is for a temperature. You should probably have a normal temperature, right? But emotion,
I feel like that's really the only thing that the only symptom that is valid, I would say,
yeah,
in the sense of, let's talk about, some of the other symptoms like chest pressure, you were saying earlier, is a form of anxiety. So when do you know that this chest pressure could be leading to, a symptom of the COVID or anxiety or, I mean, even a heart attack at this point? We don't know.
yeah, no, we don't know. I mean, if you're having chest tightness that leads to pain, that leads to anything going down your arm, call your doctor immediately because that's
911.
not a good sign,
Right.
right? Now, I mean, you could, I don't want to say simply, but in comparison to a heart attack, it is simply, you could simply be having a panic attack and have similar symptoms, but it's not, I'm not that kind of medical professional, and neither are probably like 98% of the people listening right now. So call someone who is, right? Don't play games with that.
No, it's very serious. Now, would you say that if we feel like we're having a panic attack, maybe some deep breathing or meditation?
Get out and move. If you're having
Moving.
a panic attack, get up and move, because having a panic attack and trying to hold really still is very hard. It's very hard,
Okay.
right? So here's one of the things that you can do. If you feel that you're somebody who's been having like a lot of panic, aside from getting out and moving your butt, and by the way, be sure to dress really cute when you go out. Make sure you wear your, yeah, I'm wearing mine. I love this jacket.
Awesome.
Here.
Don't we look very, very sharp in our jackets?
We
Just saying.
do.
It feels like we're not even at home.
I know, someone told me the other day when I was wearing, I think I told you, they're like, wow, you dress so professionally for being at home. I said, thank you. It's equilibrium. Look
I love it.
cute and look professional. So yeah, but we'll talk about that in a second, because that is actually a tip. But do some visualization exercises, right? So when you are feeling calmer, you don't have to be perfectly calm, because that's a ridiculous statement. But when you're feeling calmer, sit and do some visualization exercises about how you will, if panic or anxiety increases, how would you handle that? How would you like to handle it? And keep walking yourself through that, because that could be very helpful for people. Famous golfers will visualize taking the perfect swing before they ever step out on the green, because visualization works. You're retraining the brain. You're setting up different neural pathways to react to something differently than you normally do. So it's a practice, visualization. Like, what would it look like? How would I react? How would I feel? How would my chest feel?
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's simple things that we can do. And I'm not saying take half an hour out of your day where you're already feeling chaotic and crazy. I'm saying take 3 minutes. Like, lock your bathroom door. Tell everybody,
Or just step outside if you can.
step outside if you can. But that's the other thing too, people. You got to get outside. You have got to get some sunshine.
Yeah.
One of
We started that. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was saying, like, I started to feel where I was just locked up inside all day, and by the time I realized it was getting late, so then the hubby and I said, you know what, we're gonna start bike riding in the afternoons when it's not so hot, right?
Yeah.
So around like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the afternoon, we still have about an hour of light left. We'll jump on our bikes and just ride bike around the neighborhood. And that is changing my day. It's like, oh, great, now I can come home and I feel better. I can breathe better.
Yeah.
Except for the allergies, but that's
a whole different ballgame.
right.
But the cures for anxiety and depression, everybody, vitamin D.
Yes.
Like, get out. I know in South Florida, we've all been trained to hate the sun, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no, you still need it. Because if we didn't have it, you'd die. So think of it that way. But we need to get out. We need to get some sunshine. In fact, I was listening to a podcast the other day that suggested that we actually take more vitamin D as a method for, helping us build up a biome that prevents us from contracting COVID. Now, do I know if that's true or not? No, I don't. But it was an interesting, factoid.
Yeah, they have been saying extra vitamin D, extra vitamin C.
Mm-hmm.
And did you know that even though, like, we have so much sunshine here in South Florida, and I know that there's people from other places watching us, but many people, and I don't know the number, I'm not a professional, but there's a lot of people with vitamin D deficiencies.
Yeah, most of us have it.
Yeah.
Most of us
Which
have
is crazy to think, because you're like, oh, the sun is right there. It's beautiful.
Yeah, why aren't I out in it more?
Exactly.
Well, because especially down here, we're like, oh, you're going to get skin cancer, you're going to get this, you're going to get that. But you spend 10 to 15 minutes a day in the sun, I don't think you're catching skin cancer. I'm sorry. And you don't need to be out there at high noon. I mean, first of all, the air is so thick here in South Florida. It's gross anyway. So, but I mean, early in the morning or later in the evening, like what you and the hubs are doing, I mean, is perfect. Sunshine is a great cure.
Yeah,
You know,
it definitely
another
is.
great cure is what you eat. Yeah, we are all stress eating,
I don't know what you're
right?
talking about.
I have no idea. You know that I didn't even realize that I like goldfish crackers until recently. Those things are awful, man.
Yes. What is it?
They
They're
taste,
putting the mask. You have to wear a mask before you open the fridge, right? Because we're
yes,
just, how
prevent
many
for
times a day are you opening
overeating.
the fridge?
Yeah, but I don't know how many weeks we're into this because I've totally lost track of time. I feel like it was just, are we on week 5? Holy, holy
We
guacamole.
might be starting week 6. It's definitely been more than 4.
Okay, so more than 4. If you're still stress eating by the time you come out of quarantine, you might not fit out your front door. And then you can have depression of a whole nother, level. The
I
I'm
know, it's
fat
so
and
sad.
unattractive depression go through. Yeah. I mean, if you
So you know
want,
what I've seen some people have been doing is posting a picture of them in their bikinis, or, like a beach summer picture on their fridge. That
mm-hmm,
usually helps me.
you are a brave, brave woman. I don't know if I would put up a picture. I might put up a picture of somebody else in a bikini and put it on my fridge so that I could work toward that, but I don't know if I'd
So
put
at
my,
least you think about it.
I don't know if I want to scare everybody from eating out of the fridge.
Yeah. Well, maybe the other thing I've also been doing, and you tell me what you think about that, is, I'm the one that's been going to Publix, and I only go every 2 weeks because of the stress that and the anxiety that causes me. I've realized that for me it's not become healthy to go, but I'm being careful about what I bring into the house, because if
Yeah.
it's in this house, I am going to eat it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what freaks me out the most is when I walk into Publix, besides that, I already don't know the layout of the grocery store. And now they've got those arrows on the floor, and I find myself having to back up out of an aisle because I'm like, oh, there's nothing I need down here.
At
Yeah.
least you back up versus the people that just ignore it altogether. And I'm just like,
Oh,
oh.
listen, everybody, get over yourself and follow the damn rules for once. But, you know, besides that, is that the produce section is full and the processed food section is empty.
Yes.
So, if you're really concerned about your health through this pandemic, which is, it's a legit concern, right? I mean, absolutely. Why aren't you eating the produce section and maybe perhaps leaving the crap on the shelves? Like the potato chip aisle was empty.
Because those usually taste better when you're watching TV and binge watching Netflix than, a bowl of strawberries. Well, I love strawberries, but
Yeah, I mean, but I think it's so funny. I mean, the potato chips that nobody ever buys because they're like some no-name brand, they're gone too. Like, I mean, they're all gone. Like, hello, everybody. The
yeah.
soda aisle is empty.
Well, what's I've been a little upset about is the Taco Tuesday aisle has been empty now for like 3 weeks.
Well, we had tacos the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but our aisle
there's
was kind of,
very little to choose from.
yeah. There's little to choose from, and I think you have to be very conscientious. But I think you also need to understand that what you eat impacts your brain, right? So I'll just give you like 5 seconds of nerd science that a lot of
Please
people are
do.
not interested in, but you have all these neurotransmitters in your brain that we're very familiar with, like dopamine, serotonin, all these good things. Those same neurotransmitters are also found in the lining of your gut.
Okay.
So you have dopamine and serotonin and epinephrine, all this stuff are also in your gut, which is why your gut is referred to as your second brain, because you have similar neurotransmitters. So what you feed your gut impacts your neurotransmitters. Now, I'm not saying don't ever sit down with a bag of potato chips where you can't eat just one and fully enjoy and blah, blah, blah. That's whatever. But if that's your daily practice, um, you're feeding your own mental health issues by what you're ingesting into your stomach. So if we think about it, it's not just, I mean, I know, listen, I'm with everybody else. I don't want my thighs overspreading my jeans either. I got you, right? So we want to look good. Totally understand that. But how do you want to feel mentally too is a huge, huge component of what we should be thinking about. So what would
Yep.
you feed your gut? What would you, if you knew that food was going directly to your brain, what would you feed it?
Well, and that's something I don't think many people actually notice or pay attention to. How your mood and your actions, therefore, are going to be affected by what you're eating.
Yeah. I mean, think of after you eat like a bag of crappy food or whatever, and you feel sluggish and tired or you're snappy. It's not just because you're having a bad day, it's because you're feeding yourself crap.
And unfortunately, I see this never ending spiral wheel where you end up feeling crappy. Most times that's going to lead you to want to eat maybe the chips or chocolate or soda or, the unhealthy foods. So then you kind of just fueling that more and more.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how
So
do you stop it?
you make a decision. I mean, there's no other way around it, right? You gotta kind of balls up in life and make a decision for yourself. I mean, you might not be able to do a lot of things due to this pandemic or whatever, but you have not completely lost control of your life.
Right.
You still have control. I mean, you can't go the wrong way down a Publix aisle without people giving you dirty looks right now. You can't go to a music festival or something, but you can make some decisions. You're the only if you're eating crappy food, the only victim you are to is of
Is you.
yourself. But I just want to be really clear that if you're having a bad day and you indulge in something, don't be like, oh my God, Yvonne and Tati said that I'm in control of my life and I just screwed that whole thing up. And so now let me just go downward spiral. No, have your moment.
We didn't say that.
We
We said
didn't.
it's okay to have balance.
Yes, yes, exactly. What's that meme that says some days I eat, salad and avocado toast and whatever, and then other days I eat ice cream for dinner. It's called balance, baby. Yeah, pretty much.
Yes. Yeah.
It is called balance. And just be aware too for all the parents who are listening, what you eat, your kids eat, right? They have the same neurotransmitters in their gut too. They've got a lot of anxiety too. They're completely out of their norm. They're missing their friends. I mean, I don't know who cried more when my daughter first saw her teacher on an online Zoom, the teacher or my kid. I mean, they're struggling too. And so you are wanting to teach them coping skills. Now, again, you will have days where you take them and say, yep, it's Netflix cuddle day, and this is what we're doing, and that's fine because they need that too. But you're role modeling this stuff for them. It's
So
important.
I know we've been talking about a lot of, which is the one thing I knew I was going to love about being here with you, that we were going to start with one topic and there was no way on earth we were going to stick to that.
So bad at that. Like I cannot stay on track.
Well, but all of these topics that we've talked about are very important.
Yeah,
These are just different things that different people are feeling right now. And,
yeah,
some people have kids. One thing we didn't talk about, and I think it's because neither we didn't think about it, is all those people that are just home alone, that don't have kids, don't have a pet, don't have a husband, which some days we probably wish we were in their position,
yeah.
but probably not most days. So I know those individuals are struggling a lot as well.
They are really struggling. And for any of you who have a friend who knows that your friend is single or alone or whatever, check on them because most of them are not okay. I have a lot of patients who live by themselves and their families are far away. I have a board member who, even though her children live here, they're grown and in their own families. And so she doesn't want to expose her grandchildren to anything. So she's alone. You know what? We're doing Zoom coffee hours with friends. Check on them because you'll help them and you'll help yourself. We always get more when we give than when we take, and just reaching out to someone and saying, hey, you want to have coffee or wine, whatever. There's a judgment-free
No
zone.
judgment.
No judgment. I won't even judge what time you have the wine. I don't care. So, but reach out to them and connect with them because they're feeling, at the beginning they're kind of like, oh, I don't have to worry about putting up with anybody else in this house. But now they're like, I wish I had somebody else to put up with in this house. Not all of them,
Right.
of course, but a lot of people for sure.
When a lot of the extroverts too are feeling this.
Oh, honey, this is killing some of us. I said to my husband the other day, I'm like, I miss traffic. Like,
No, please don't say that out loud ever. No, she doesn't mean it.
I, I I had to go to my office the other day to pick up charts and stuff, and there was no traffic, and I was like, this is freaky. This is weird. I feel literally like sometimes I have to go someplace on a Sunday morning, and it's like that Sunday morning traffic.
Right.
But it was Monday at 9 a.m. Bizarre, just bizarre.
I think it's great. Getting places without traffic in Miami is the most amazing thing
Oh, well, you
ever.
live in the traffic capital of the universe, I'm telling you.
Yes.
So I'm sure. I'm sure. A friend of mine said they got so just like cabin fever that she put all her kids in the car and they drove to Miami because they could. And it took them 20 minutes from North Broward to Miami was a 20
Yeah.
minute drive down 95. She's like, it was the most beautiful thing ever. I could show my kids like all the, the skylines and all of that stuff. She's like, we didn't go anywhere and we didn't get out of the car, but we just drove around
I
and looked at
drove.
different things. And, it was good for them.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that are doing that just to get their kids out of the house sometimes and
Hmm.
just breathe fresh air, and it's
Yeah,
nice.
it is nice. But we can also, you can have a socially distant, appropriate visit with somebody. I did, and it's on my Facebook page, I did a happy hour on Sunday for a couple of our family friends, and everybody's in the driveway, and everybody brought their own chair, their own cup, their own wine or beer, whatever they were having, and we all sat separate of each other and just got to like chat and catch up and have a good time, and nobody left feeling like panicked. And I mean, if that does cause you panic, then it's not for you, right? But for other people that maybe it doesn't, you can definitely have an appropriate, socially distant, appropriate time together. It's harder to do that with kids. Kids don't understand that they can't be loving and hugging on people, you know.
Yeah.
I had to stop my daughter from running up and hugging our family friends because that's what she normally would do, and it's disgusting. I mean, I hate it, but we did it, when we had a great time.
Yeah, and that's something we've been thinking about as well. Now, even though I don't have kids, sometimes I feel like my husband might be because he loves to just hug and touch and like, he's very caring
Uh-huh.
and loving. And so I'm like, we can't go anywhere or have anyone around us because you don't know what 6 feet apart mean. I swear I feel like getting one of those pool donuts, or what are they called? Like those long things.
Oh, the lifesaver thing.
The Yeah, but the ones that are long, right? That looks like a straw. Not the donut. The one
Oh,
that looks like a straw that people.
a noodle.
The noodle.
Yes.
Take a noodle and like tape it onto his like body and just say, hey, this is how far apart you need to stay from other people.
Mm-hmm.
Then we can go out somewhere because he's just not sure what 6 feet look like. In his
Yeah.
mind, he's like, no, it's okay because I love them and they love me. I'm like, yes, but not
Right.
right now. We can't do that.
COVID doesn't touch anybody that you love. So absolutely, it's a great. Yeah,
And
no,
no, I
no.
love him for being so, optimistic, but I'm just like, no, right now we really do need to keep our distance and stay safe.
Yeah, it's funny. I think it's your mom saying that's a great idea when you live in a house. But I also have friends who live in apartments and they're having happy hour on a balcony with their neighbors.
I love
It's the cutest
it.
thing. They're like, I didn't even know my neighbor before, but now we sit out on our balcony and we have happy hour at 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, or we have coffee in the morning and chat up with the neighbor. So I mean, it's, we've got to, I know I hate this phrase too, we got to find our new normal, right? But
Right.
the better care we take of ourselves, the more likely we'll be able to adjust to some things and figure out ways that make us, to do things that we enjoy right now. And by the way, guys, this is not going to last forever. And the world's not coming to an end. It's just not. I mean, it feels overwhelming right now, but we're not coming to an end. This isn't the rest of our lives. I mean, it could be about a year of having to practice social distancing and all of that stuff, but is what they're saying. But there are really smart people on this planet, and people are working right now 24/7 on a cure. And I'm glad it's not me, and they didn't leave me responsible for that, because I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. But, there are people out there, and that's what they're doing.
And let's hope they find something, because a whole year of being stuck at home might be a little bit longer than I want.
Stuck at home, but a whole year of like trying to not, be super close to people, like there wouldn't be concerts and that kind of stuff. Yeah, so, but somebody's working on it. I mean, listen, there's vaccination for polio, and you know what? They never thought there would be. But there is one.
There is. So we will get through this. It will get better.
Yeah. And listen, the one thing you don't want to do is inundate yourself with news. I don't open an article unless it's like a story on survival.
Right. What I've learned that for me works is, since watching the news was just, making me worse than your neighbor, I just told my parents, I said, if there's something very important that I need to know, please call me. If it's not that important, don't tell me. I don't need to know.
Yeah.
I'm practicing the safe guidelines that we have been for the past 5 or 6 weeks, and I'm going to continue. Besides that, I don't need to watch the news.
No. I made my mom stop watching the news, because what she does is watch the news, and she texts me everything that's from the news, because she knows I don't watch the news. And I'm like, Donna, the whole point of not watching the news is to avoid this crap. Like, I don't need a text update like every 5 minutes. So I finally told her, I'm like, I've given you Netflix, like turn it on. The poor thing turns on Netflix, and the first show that pops up is Pandemic, the movie. Okay, so don't watch that. Like, go find
Please don't.
And she's like, but the first movie that showed up is Pandemic. I'm like, Donna, it's Netflix, honey. There's like a kabillion movies on there. Find something else. But you can't inundate yourself with this stuff. It's like sitting there watching the hurricane cone for like 5 weeks.
I did that for the first week. I was like, okay, so is it over yet? Where's our, I was looking for the cone. I was like, okay, so what do we need to do? And then I was like, this isn't going to be very, productive. So we kind of moved away from that. So now let me ask you, because we've been back and forth. We've talked a lot about, and I feel like you and I could sit here and just talk till tonight and go from coffee to wine, and it would be totally acceptable.
Yeah.
What would be, so you've obviously said probably don't watch the news, or just watch it just however you feel you need to know, right?
Yeah.
What is like maybe 2 no-nos that you would say right now not to do, and maybe 3 or 4 or 5 things that you say, okay, do this to do, relax yourself and have a better day?
Yeah. So the things not to do are definitely in the news. The other things not to do is to sit and have 24-hour conversations with people in your house or your friends about the awfulness of what's going on in the world, right? And do not, this is more of a do, put yourself into a routine, so like Monday through Friday, if you normally work, set yourself up a routine that you would normally do as much as humanly possible, right? And Saturdays and Sundays, if you don't normally work on Saturdays and Sundays, stop it. Like you have to create some type of normalcy in your home, right? So you get up in the morning, and like if you're working from home, but normally you used to go to an office, go for a walk in the morning, like you're leaving your house to go to work, and come back like you're coming to work, right?
I love that.
Yeah, it's not exactly the same thing. I already know that. You don't have to fill my inbox. I got it. Right? But way for us to sort of change the brain and our way of thinking. Like, okay, I got up, I drove to work, now I'm here at work, and now I'm going to schedule my day. Your kids need to be on a schedule, not the same schedule they were at school. My son does not need to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning because there is no bus to catch, which is ridiculous. But if he's up by 9, I'm good. He's up at 9, he's in class. My daughter's up at 8:30, by 9 she's in class, right? So put yourself on some type of routine. Okay?
And that also would, just to add on to that, if you have to get up and let's say pretend to drive to work, you also have to do what? Get out of your PJs.
Yes.
Right? So you're putting on something.
Yeah.
What?
I was going to say, everybody get dressed.
Get dressed, which I know that a lot of people are not, and it changes what you do, because if you're still in your PJs, you think it's okay to just chill, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. My husband was laughing at me because this morning I was like, oh, I got to brush my teeth. And he's like, it's a video call. I said, it's a mindset.
I washed my hair. I put on jewelry, which I don't wear anymore because of, catching anything, and I don't want to, but I was like, I put on jewelry. My husband goes, you smell good. I was like, I even put on perfume.
Oh, I put on something every day. Well, when my says you smell good, I said, it's because I'm a girl and that's my superpower, right? You're a boy, it's not yours. So
no, not at all.
Yeah, so we get up every day, get dressed. Now, I'm not wearing stilettos in my house, right, which I would normally wear to work, but I am presenting myself professionally on all of my video chats. I'm not in my underwear under the jacket. I have on pants. Come on, everybody. Like, I put on makeup, I brush my teeth, I take care of myself. I present myself as though I'm actually at work. I would never show up to work without makeup on. I just wouldn't.
Okay.
I wouldn't show up to work without brushing my teeth.
Hopefully you wouldn't leave the house without brushing your teeth, so.
No, because that's gross. And I also wouldn't show up to work at 9 o'clock in the morning with a glass of wine in my hand.
Which unfortunately I have heard that some people have been doing on those Zoom calls. Mm-hmm. So just a side little note and suggestion. People are watching and listening, so be careful what you're drinking, what you're eating, what you're saying, what you're wearing or not wearing, because those cameras are on, and even some of the people that you might not see are around. So
yeah, exactly. And by the way, if you're drinking wine at 9 o'clock in the morning and you don't work all night long, like you're not the night shift, and this
call
is like
Yvonne.
Yeah, give me a call because there's something going on.
That's one of those signs you need to call for help.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though we don't judge, but most likely if it's happening.
Yeah, but
every
we don't
day.
judge, but that's that's not okay.
No.
It's coffee, tea, or water time in the morning, everybody, or whatever health drink you drink or something. But it is not wine 30.
No.
But yeah, so I mean, put ourselves in a routine, get up, get dressed, get functioning, take breaks during the day. In between patients, I run outside to get in some sun.
Nice.
Because I can. And why wouldn't I?
So I put on an alarm now that every hour, it reminds me to get up. Either I do 30 seconds of jump rope, or I walk right outside and just breathe some fresh air, feed the cats, anything. Because if not, I've noticed that I will sit here for 8-9 hours and then, I'm like, wow, I'm a little sore. My lower back hurts. Why? Because I haven't moved.
You haven't moved your
butt.
butt.
You do need to move.
Yeah, we need movement. We are not meant to hold still, at all. I mean, if you see, I'm sure everybody can, remember there are all these videos where somebody's in a wheelchair and they're doing pull-ups. And we're like, wow, what excuse do you have kind of thing? Or they're an amputee and they're running and, all of this stuff. I mean, they are amazing human beings, but I think almost all human beings are amazing. But it's because the body's meant to move, and it doesn't matter what limitations you have. Your body is meant to move. We're originally nomads. I mean, we used to walk from freaking continent to continent pretty much. but yet you think your butt was meant to sit for 9 hours. I doubt it.
No.
No. I mean,
Yeah.
not being an anthropology major or anything, but
Yeah, we should have said, like, had a little disclosure at the beginning where, you know, we are not experts in all of these fields. I am not an expert in any of them. So, if you feel you need to call a doctor or someone, right, call the doctor and double check on what needs to be done or not done.
yeah.
We'll take your word for it because you are
Well,
an
only take
expert
my,
on your field.
like, if you don't like my nutritional advice, go talk to somebody whose advice you like. I mean, that's what I tell
Exactly.
you. I mean, because otherwise you can send your opinion to my I don't care at gmail.com address and good luck.
Hey, that's mine.
Right?
Oh, mine's Hotmail. Okay.
Oh, your Hotmail. Okay. Yep. If you don't like my advice, you can send it to I don't care at gmail.com. I'll be sure to file it appropriate for you in the garbage. Yeah, I mean, some of it is just basic common sense, and I think that people just it needs to be reiterated for people, but otherwise you've got to find the experts for the information that you need, and social media is not the expert.
Not at all.
They're posting stories on there that are just not even true. I mean,
Yeah.
and that people don't fact check things, and they're looking at all this stuff. There was a horrible one going around about this woman who was like giving birth or something, and she was dying of COVID, and the baby was and none of the story was true. The picture was fabricated. I mean, and it was a gut-wrenching type of thing that would just set somebody, like over the edge in sadness. And then I was like, let me just fact check this. Yeah, not true.
Yeah, that's a sad part, which is why we should stick to positive thinking, positive attitude, positive behavior, positive actions.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're having a moment, have your moment, but don't live there. You can be nervous about what's going on. You can feel nervous. You don't have to be nervous. There's a difference.
Okay.
So I can feel something and say because I would never say to somebody, well, ignore your feelings, because that'll just make the feeling bigger, right? So you can feel it and say, okay, right now I'm nervous, and I'm going to honor the fact that I'm nervous, and maybe I'm going to go step outside in the sun, but I'm not going to start, hunkering down and boarding up my house kind of nervous, like I'm, afraid to breathe in the oxygen. That's being nervous as opposed to just feeling it. But honor your feelings, everybody. They're valid. This is crazy, but your feelings are valid.
Yes. Well, Yvonne, this was amazing.
This was a lot of fun, my friend.
You had a great time. Did you bring, because I know this is not the lipstick attitude, but do you have lipstick?
Oh, of course I do. Because I'm a girl. I also have lotion and all kinds of fun stuff. But yes.
So we are going to put on our lipstick, because when we put on lipstick, we can take over the world.
It's our war paint. Thank you, Dr. King, for that.
I was going to say Dr. King would love this.
Yes, she would. She'd be
right.
She'd be a little
we
upset.
Miss you, by the way.
But that's okay.
So what I wanted to say.
Not chapstick, because mine normally is chapstick, and she hates that.
Right. Well, this morning I just had lip gloss on when I started with my mom, and she was like, "Where's your lipstick?" I was like, "I'm walking to the car to get it," because that's where I keep it now, since that's the only time I wear it when I go out. But yes, so this was awesome. I want to tell our viewers that we will be doing this once a week.
Yeah.
Right?
Join us.
Join us. If you have any questions or any suggestions on topics that you would like us to talk about or elaborate on, or just anything that you might need Yvonne for, where can they find you, Yvonne?
You can find me on Instagram. I'm so complicated. It's just my name, Yvonne Haase on Instagram, Yvonne Haase on Facebook. You can find our foundation at Suits, Stilettos, and Lipstick Foundation on both Instagram and, of course, on Facebook as well. If you're wanting to find how to give to a community, we'd be happy to let you give you some information on how you can make an impact for women and children. That, by the way, will help some of your anxiety, just saying. But yeah, you can find me on both. You're welcome to connect with me. You can shoot questions. I'm happy to either answer them or bring them back. What is this going to be like? Tuesdays with Tati, man. I
I
like.
like it. We'll do that. Tuesday morning.
Yeah, today is Tuesday, right? Yeah.
Today's Taco Tuesday.
It is Taco Tuesday. That's awesome. Uh,
So, oh, thank you, Karina. Yes, that way everyone knows how to spell. I
oh
did
yeah.
have to, right? That is something
Thank
very
you, Miss Karina.
nice.
Well, that's Karina's like. Karina has so many talents, but like keeping people connected is like her godsend talent. I'm telling you.
Yes. And she is like my superpower when it comes to all of this. She'll call me. She's like, okay, this is what you did. This is what you should do. Do it better this time, next time like this. And I love it because I am learning so much
Yeah.
and she just cares.
Yeah, she does. That's awesome. And this is my first experience doing an Instagram live. I was texting Tati. I'm like, so I just wait for you to jump on, and then what do? I just click it. But it's
So how
awesome.
did you feel? Did you like it?
I love it. This is a lot of
Perfect.
fun.
Okay, so we will
Awesome.
do it again.
All
Thank
right.
you for everyone who joined us, and we will see you. Karina needs a taco right now.
Amen.
All right.
All right,
Have a
everybody.
wonderful day, okay?
Bye.
Bye.